You already know what it means when I have this mic in my hand, and for those of you who don't, it means another book review is coming your way. Let's talk Boomtown by Nic Stone. When the marriage charm will burn, a new day
Sorry.
When the marriage charm When the marriage charm will burn, a new daytime dancer misses her shift at Boomtown. Former headliner Micah Lyric Johansson suspects something more than a no-call, no-show. As Lyric's former headline partner and lover, Felice Lucky Carruthers, also vanished under similar circumstances, Lyric decides she's going to find them. Delving deeper into charms in Lucky's disappearances, Lyric uncovers a tangled web of deceit, privilege, and power. The line between friend and foe blurs, forcing Lyric to confront the question, is finding these women worth the threat to her own life? This tantalizing thriller will take you on a heart-pounding and page-turning journey through the peaks and valleys of Atlanta's world. And boy, was I turning them pages to find out what was what. I was leaving so many notes in my note app. To me, this is like a mystery. It's a whodunit, and I need to know who done it. What happened to who and who done it? You know what I'm saying? It got to the point, like, I read this book in like a day and a half. If it wasn't for me having to go to sleep and wake up and go to work, I would have read it in the time span of one full day. That's how much I needed to know what happened and who done it. This isn't going to be like my other book reviews where I'm just constantly talking to the screen. I'm going to read off of my notes and then talk to y'all about it, because that's what I have to do in order to take y'all through there. You know what I mean? My first note was Thomas J. McIntyre, aka T. He gave me, if you watching this and you seen P-Valley, then you know what I mean. But T gave me Derek vibes. From the jump, I was like, I'm not feeling it no more. Getting it. But no, I was like, boy, who do you think you are? Like, that's the problem. Y'all be inviting these people to the cookout. He shouldn't have been allowed. He shouldn't have even been allowed in Boomtown. But y'all let him in. Y'all let him in the door. And that's what you had to deal with. From the jump, I was like, okay, I don't like him. Period. Even though he came off like this smooth operator, I was not feeling Derek. And I didn't understand how Lucky was feeling Derek when she was like, she don't even usually mess with these type of dudes. And then somehow she just was like attracted to him. Even though she was in denial, I feel like, because you were attracted to him. Regardless of if you never mess with nobody like him, or you normally pay attention to these type of dudes and you don't pay attention to this type of dude, you were attracted to him because she was anticipating him coming back. Like, she couldn't wait for him to come back to the club. From the moment that y'all had that conversation and then she walked off, she was just like literally waiting for him to come back to the club. You show up to work, you get to working, and you like, when is he gonna walk back in here? That was Lucky's problem. You should have stood to the rivers and the lakes that you used to. Then I put Lyric and Lucky were getting freaky, but I don't like that she ended it out of fear of Lucky loving her, flaws and all. That's why I was like, come on, Lyric, bruh. You missed out on the love of a lifetime because you were scared. It's one thing to respectfully break up with someone. It's another thing for you to just act like you didn't have no type of feelings for this person. Now, mind you, they weren't supposed to be having relations in this club. Yeah, you can interact with each other, but they're not supposed to be involved with each other in that way. That was one of the rules of the club, which is cool. Okay, but push come to shove, you end up liking this girl, you end up loving this girl. When it comes time for you to feel scared and you want to pull back, my thing was, don't act like it's not what it was. You could have just been like, yeah, we didn't mess with each other, or it wasn't like that. Okay, cool. But on the back end, I know what it is. But for you to get up in the club and you acting like we never had nothing, and then I wasn't nothing to you, I did not like how Lyric handled Lucky. I'm a little under the weather, but I'm still trying to push through. So y'all push through with me. Then I said, what does Lyric know? I just finished the second chapter, page 30, where she described an unpleasant scene involving Lucky, but she cuts herself off. That, I'm not going to get into it just yet, because it's still more to go. But I genuinely was like, what does Lyric know that we don't know? So I started to feel a way about Lyric, because you giving me vibes like you can't be trusted. Even though y'all have relations with each other, y'all was cool, y'all was this and y'all was that, you're giving me vibes like you are not a true friend. Because despite how you may have felt scared, you didn't want her to see you flaws and all, but the way that she was describing whatever she knew, and she led up to that scene and then just cut it off, nah, I was like, yeah, Lyric started getting on my bad side after that. I wasn't feeling that. Then I said, Damaris gotta be dead. Who is the guy in the picture that Lyric found of her, though? With that emoji that's like thinking. Because I was like, who is it? Because for them to say, oh, he looked like such and such, I'm like, who? You know what I mean? Like, what are we really getting? What is actually happening with this book? And this is where I'm getting to the point of where, like, I'm reading all these chapters. Mind you, I said page 30, the second chapter, page 30. By that point, I couldn't put the book down. I was like, I need to know. Like, I need to know. So then I said, I keep wanting to associate T with the white boy Derek on P-Valley, which we already went over that. Then come to find out, I'm already feeling how I feel about T. Come to find out, his name is Thomas Jefferson McIntyre. I needed Lucky to run. Run away, love, love, love. Lucky needed to run away from him. From the moment that she seen him at the club and she felt how she felt, run. Instead of running away from him, she ran towards him. She was so curious, you know. Curiosity be killing that cat. Get you in some situations you don't want to be in. Sometimes you really just need to leave. Run away, not towards, but away. Ain't no way. I'm not having no conversation with nobody named Thomas Jefferson. I don't care if your last name is McIntyre. Your first and middle is Thomas Jefferson. And she literally said, like, you're named after. Y'all know who he was named after. I'm not gonna say it. I started connecting the dots of who Jeff was. I was like, I felt like, because I think she said something like TJ or something like that. He was like, don't call me that. I don't want to be called that. And I'm like, what's your problem, guy? Then for it to come out that his name was Thomas Jefferson, and then she like, Jeff, she text somebody, or I think it was Lyric. Let me see in my notes. Yeah, Lucky has sent a message to Jeff saying something very important, which Lyric seen this after the fact. And I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my mama. But I was like, who is Jeff? But I felt like it was dude, and it was him whole time. That's what I'm saying. I be knowing, but like I needed to be clear on what I think I know, because I could think I know something and then it be all the way to the left. But this wasn't to the left, it was dead on in the center. If I would have read this book and felt like I could become a detective, this would have been all the backup support I needed. Then I said, I'm on page 107. Lyric is sitting outside of Jeff's house where she sees his black wife and a baby. Where the F the baby come from? He kept telling Lucky his wife didn't want kids. But let's backtrack even further. Lyric, hold on, wait, what'd I say? Well, I said let's backtrack even further, because that's when Lyric got to talking about how she left Lucky for dead. It's some things going on. Y'all gonna have to read it. I'm not gonna tell you the whole thing. You're gonna have to read to know exactly what I'm getting at. And it might sound like it's all over the place, but I promise you, if you read the book, then you're gonna understand. I'm just genuinely trying not to give y'all the entire book. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be a good person here, good Samaritan. Just read the book. You gonna understand what I'm getting at. But what I said was, what Lyric did That's where I lost all respect, because like I said, I told y'all she was already painting a picture like some foul stuff had happened. She was already painting that picture, but I didn't get the clear picture because she started talking, then she cut herself off. Then page 107, before page 107, but we at page 107 where I left off leaving some notes. Before that, you get to the nitty gritty of things, and that's where I was like, I don't like Lyric. I already didn't like Lyric because of how she left Lucky. Then not only do you leave her when she needs you, she's so vulnerable at this time. Not only do you leave her, you steal from her in the time of you leaving her. I lost all respect. Like, you left her for dead. I can't respect that. Because who does that to somebody that they love, regardless of if y'all in a relationship or not? Regardless of your background, this person's background, you don't treat nobody like that. Then I said, last time I logged was yesterday. 11:40 a.m. is June 9th, 2026. 10:30 a.m. and I just finished Boomtown. Mind you, I started June 8th, 2026. I finished the book June 9th. I said, I'm so happy. I finally read it. My eyes teared up at the end. That was a good read. Definitely something to get me going. I didn't know nothing about this book. I knew about Nic Stone though. Don't get me wrong, because that Blackout book, Nic Stone, this is her first adult fiction book right here. Everything else has been YA, young adult. And it's a book where she collaborated on called Blackout. I loved that book. It was like 6 different authors for one book, but I loved it. It was based in New York. That has nothing to do with anything right now, but I'm just saying, I'm familiar with her writing, but I didn't know that this was the first adult fiction book that she wrote. This was so good to where I won't say that I want a part 2, but I would love to know exactly what I should think, because I didn't know what to think. Like at the end, like I felt like it was left up to your own imagination to a certain extent, and that's where I was like, I don't know if I'm feeling that. But I did get emotional by the end of the book. I did. I feel like this was valid. Say what you want to say. If you read it and you don't feel that way, I don't care. How about that? Yes, this book was, to me, it was so good, and it got me out of that feeling of like, I won't say I was in a slump, but I genuinely didn't know what to read next. And me just listening to my gut, my intuition told me to read this book, and I'm glad that I listened to it. That's what I'm going to say. And I feel like if you like murder mystery, if you like drama, if you like it's a glimpse of romance, but it's not the type of romance that you would think. It's not something that's gonna make you want to fall in love. It's like romance to where you like, dang bro, why you have to do her like that? Like, the love was there, it just they didn't follow through. But yeah, it's a little bit of romance in here, sapphic romance. If you want to try to figure out a crime you think you know, it definitely has the plot twist. If you want your heart to pound and you trying to turn them pages real quick, Boomtown is it. If you've already read it, let me know. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you can be in tune with every book review that I have coming. But this one is Boomtown by Nic Stone.